Content management systems have spooked many would-be webbies for years, with their outlandish price tags ranging from, well, $1,000 to $300,000. Database-driven and managed websites have always seemed just a bit out of reach for small businesses and for personal use too. But enter Joomla. The Joomla content management system is free to use, open source, and is full of features. With its extensive developer community, you can do just about anything you want to do with your website. Now, there is a preconceived idea where people have when free is mentioned, cheap comes to mind. But Joomla is far, far from being cheap by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, because it is free is why it can offer so many features. Let's take a look at some of the core features that come with the basic Joomla installation. And the front here, you can see this is just a basic installation. Nothing fancy. Beautiful template. But here it just looks to the average user, just looks like a normal, everyday website. You've got links, you've got articles. When you click on a link, it goes to the right page. But there's a lot more going on here than what meets the eye. Everything in here is database driven. We call that dynamic data that's being pulled. So really this is not, this text right here that I'm highlighting, or down here, this text is actually really not on this page, on an HTML page. It's actually in a database, and it pulls it from the database and plops it right there in that space. And there's many, many advantages to using such a thing like that. For instance, these menu items up here, they're dynamically driven from the database. So this website right here has about 20 pages. So if I wanted to add a link, I would have to go to 20 pages and add that link. Well, that's a lot of work. But using the Joomla content management system, you just do it one time, and on all 20 pages, it'll update the link. Well, the first thing I want to look over is, you see this right here, this login form. One of the most powerful features of Joomla is just this, the login form. Being able to create an account, see this create here, and you can manage your users. You can manage people who are allowed to submit content, to add a picture, to change some text, and it's all done through the user manager. It's a great feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to this link, administrator, and this is part of the Joomla system, is the administration end, the back end, and we'll get into many of the things that all these features do, but I just want to show you what the user does. The user manager, let's say we have a guy that wants to sign up. We can type it ourselves, and I'm just going to call him John Doe, J Doe. Let's just do J Doe at spy.com. Password is J Doe. Password is J Doe. So now I'm going to create him as a registered user. So now he has special rights. He can do things that other people can't do. Watch this. So let's say I want on my website only certain items to be shown to people who are registered, who have that right. So that means this guy can log in. J Doe can log in. Spell it right, huh? J Doe. Click login. And now, look at this. A menu link popped up that wasn't there before, because he is now a registered member, and only registered members can see this link right here. So watch what happens. I'm going to click log out, and it's not there anymore. It disappeared. So that's one of the great features just right off the bat that you can see. Another thing is, remember we talked about the menus, how if we add another menu link, we have to change all 20 pages. Well, the same thing is here, and here, and here, and here, and all these little positions. You see this news flash, the polls. Well, what if the client, or let's say me, what if I don't want this here? What if I want it over here? Well, that would take a lot of coding in normal HTML, but with Joomla, it's a click of a button. Literally, watch. I'm going to log into the back end again. Go to my modules. And remember, it was the polls. We find the polls. And I just see it's in the right hand position. I will just want to move it to the left. Save it. And now as you can see, the polls, instead of being over here, are over here. And it just took, what, 10 seconds to do that? Whereas if you were to do it in normal HTML in 20 pages, it would take you a long, long time. The next thing is we're going to log back in to the administrator. And let's say one of the menu items we had on the top, the news link, what if I don't want that there anymore? Well, instead of having to go through 20 pages and delete them, I can just click unpublish. And now, let's log back out. Now the news link isn't up there anymore. Let's turn it back on just for fun's sake. I'll log back in. Go to the top menu, and then we publish it. But let's say I want the links. I'll show you. Let's say I want this over here. Well, again, if you were to do this in HTML, it would take a while because you have to move every link around. Okay, so let's just move the links in front of the contact us. Real simple. You see the links, you just click on the up arrow. Click up on the up arrow. Refresh this. And now the links are in front of it. Very simple, dynamic menus, dynamic positions where you can move things left and right all over, dynamic content. And really, in the long term, it might cost a little more to set it up if you have to pay someone to set this up, or if you want to learn yourself. It might take a little more time to learn it, but in the long run, it will save you lots of time and lots of money, because you don't have to spend so much time editing tedious code or asking someone to edit tedious code. And now I'm going to show you something that's one of my favorite features of all. It's the template system. All this right here is a template. All this whole layout, the 3 columns, a column here, column here, column here, and here's a banner. Well, what if my company decides to change the whole look of the website? What happens to my content? Do I have to go back and insert all my content again? Absolutely not. With the template system, all you do is go to your template manager, and here's another template, and we're just going to assign that as the default template. And watch this, all the content stays in there, but the look is going to completely change. And as you can see, another finally made template, free template of course, but all the content's still in there. As you can see, here's our top menu, here's our left menu over here, and here's all the content that we have. Here's our login form, but it's a completely different look. And you can have, depending on the times of the season, if you want to have different looks for the different seasons or different events, you can have those kinds of templates. But just as a click of a button, I'm going to turn it back, hit default, refresh it, click of a button, I've completely changed the look of my website. And there's a million different uses you can use for Joomla. There's so many different plugins and features and add-ons that are mostly free. You can use it for blogs, for news sites, syndicated sites, for e-commerce, even online shopping carts, for property management, to manage your real estate, for real estate companies, photo galleries for personal use or photo galleries for portfolio use, calendars, band and gig management. I mean, the list is endless, folks. And that's pretty much what you can do with Joomla. Everything. It's an amazing system. And I hope you spend the time to learn it, because it will save you money and time in the long run.